This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more. And if it's Tuesday, that's funny, Joey. If it's Tuesday, it was always Giving Tuesday. You got to give to the arts. You got to support those artists out there, museums, libraries, doesn't matter who it is. Support Randy Element, December 19th, Carnegie Hall. How'd you like that, Eileen? Here's the good thing about this. I was looking forward to seeing these two, and I'll tell you why. Not only with Jimmy Adams from MyTube 247, these two people are really responsible for helping us. I've never told these two that on air, but I thought about it. I'm like, it's time to let them know that if it weren't for Sherry Nelson and Eileen Shapiro, we would have never met Dean. If it weren't for Jimmy, we would have interviewed a lot of those clients during the lockdown. And so I want to say I thank you for all of that, because we wouldn't be where we are, movie reviews and more, without you two doing what you guys do on the East Coast and the West Coast. And that's important for me. So I mean, with the two calendars. Well, I don't say it to be nice. I never say anything to be nice. I say it because it's true. It is true.
That's
so let me say this.
Right.
So here's the thing. I don't care if anybody's swearing today. I don't care, because Eileen's here. She is a size queen, so it doesn't matter. She loves her two calendars, which is really important. She knows exactly what's going on with those two calendars. You can't get anything by her. She's that author. She was, I think she still stuff for the Huff Post, Louder Than War, if I'm correct. All right, so I'm going to read this. I never read anything. Never. But here's the thing about it. She is that great publicist, and so isn't Jimmy. He's that former fashion designer. He's that I would say he's one of the original influencers. A best-selling author. He is the toy collector. I love when Halloween comes around, because I think that's his favorite season. And oh, by the way, I think it's your birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you. Tomorrow. It's actually tomorrow.
No, in a few hours.
So when it comes to that, all of that, he is that celebrity interview too. And it's always about the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. We got to say hi to Ron, because I love Ron. And so I think Ron is one of the last Hollywood icons and historians in the world. I only count a little bit of Leonard Maltin, but I think Ron is the only one. All right. I'm going to open
Everybody else died. Everybody else died.
So Carol, you haven't met Eileen and Jimmy. Tell them who you are.
Hi, I'm Carol Register. It's lovely to meet you guys. I'm so glad you're here. I hear wonderful things about you all the time. Thank you for, the ranking for us in the Hollywood Elites magazine that came out, Hollywood Digest. I hear you guys are behind that. One of you is behind that for sure. I am a neuro coach, and you know how people are wealthy and miserable? Never met anybody like that. Ever been that way? Well, I bring people back into heart-centered alignment so they can have their cake and eat it too, have their wealth with happiness and joy. I also have a boutique hotel down in southern Chile where we do retreats. We do complete nervous system and wealth recalibrations. And I have my own show, Unleashed and Unstoppable, the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast. It's so
good for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I have a question, and good for you. Congratulations. What if you're happy and you're just poor as hell?
That's me and Jimmy.
Yeah.
I'm like super happy, but I need the wealth part somehow.
Well, we gotta also, Jimmy, tell everybody, because you got 1.2 billion. You know, I think it's the views and plays cross line on that.
1,257,000,000.
Exactly. Now that's important. Tell the audience why that is important.
Oh, I don't know, because it gives me great bragging rights.
Exactly.
Because it feels good.
It's fun. I mean, it's just fun. You know, my show is on, one of my shows is on the sister station to Talk 4 TV, W4CY Radio. And we've been on the air for over 18 years. So there was no such thing as a podcast when we started. It was a radio show. Now there's a thing as a podcast. So we've been on the air for a really long time. And basically, it's a celebrity interview show. I get to interview a lot of great people, just like you guys do, and just like Eileen does. Eileen actually helps get a lot of my great. If anybody doesn't know, she's a New York Times best-selling author, and she's interviewed the biggest stars on the planet. She doesn't know who any of the movie stars are. She knows who all the music stars are. So she'll get all these like wild music stars, and she'll know who they are. And then she'll call me and she'll say they want me to interview Steve Carell. Like, is he somebody I should like interview? You know, because she doesn't know who the people are, and they're all like the biggest stars in the world. So she's interviewed everybody. You know, Cyndi Lauper, and today she interviewed Robin S. And she's interviewed everybody. So she's like a superstar. And Eileen and I actually met through my show because another publicist scheduled her to come on my show to promote a book that she had written, and we became fast friends. And we were on a ghost hunt, and we met through a publicist. And we had Ricky Rebel, who's like a pop star, and we
Love
had
him.
Pedrosa Ona Carol, who's a medium. And we went on this ghost hunt. At the end of the ghost hunt, Eileen and I were talking because we all met through the same publicist. And Eileen said, you know, do a lot of publicists come to you to get help with their stuff? And I was like, all the time. And she said, we should start a PR firm. And I said, yeah, we should. We should see what we could do. And the next day we came up with the name World Star PR. And within 2 weeks, we had 10 clients.
True.
And it's been good ever since, you know.
And I love their clients. And, you know, so the good thing about their clients is they're spread all around. You know, Eileen's got the East Coast, Jimmy's got the West Coast. In some kind of strange way, they meet in the middle of the country and around the world. And they've got some of the best clients out there. They really do. And they stay with these guys, even the ones that may have problems or something like that. They, you know, Eileen's not going to put up with nonsense, first of all, because she's a Long Island chick. She's just not going to. Hey, Rachel, remind them who you are and tell them what you've been doing lately. Go ahead.
Let's see. Cleaning the house. I mean, so boring. I don't know. I'm doing like
You are not boring.
You're not boring, Rachel. I do coffee talk in the mornings. I do a lot of TikTok videos. They're raping me. don't
Your earlier New York accent.
they are. They rape you. Anyway.
Well, kind of. Hey, Jimmy. Yeah. So, you know, here's one thing. I've always say I'm a YouTuber, not a TikToker. But Jimmy said, you know, Brian, if you need help doing something, I'll show you what to do. How many people do that? We don't have any jealousy around. It shouldn't be like that. You know, I hate it when he's not getting what he wants when his films, you know, oh, by the way, any future investors out there, this is the person you want to invest in because of his films. And he's a good supporter when it comes to things like that. Right, Jimmy?
Real quick. Yes, I am. Real quick, Rebel, is there a way I typed my own name wrong because I'm mentally ill? It says Jimmy Start and not Jimmy
Did you put
Star.
Jimmy Start?
Yeah, I put Jimmy Start. Is there a way to get rid of that T?
I like that. Jimmy Start.
That's your new nickname now, right? Okay.
But I believe, going back to what you say, I believe that if everybody helped everybody, everybody could be successful.
Yeah.
You know, in my social media on between Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, you know, I work with a group of people and everybody supports each other to help everybody grow. And I think that's the way it should be. And if somebody only wants me to help them do stuff and they never reciprocate, I basically just stop, you know, because I don't have time for that. But I think that if we all helped each other, we could all grow. We could all be successful. There's plenty of pie for everybody to have some if you're not an asshole.
I wish
Yeah.
more people were like that because, you know, the older I get, you know, you just see, I try to be a partner with people and try to do partnerships and help my friends out. But people like sometimes they just take, they never give back. It's just really sad that more people don't see there's so much wealth to go around. There's so many opportunities to go around. You don't need to copy other people or be jealous of other people. Just do your own thing and you'll be successful. And I just wish that you hit it right, the nail around the head, Jimmy. I just wish more people, you know, thought that way. That's my
Everybody's like everybody in the podcast world. So I have 3 podcasts, and everybody in the podcast world does their own thing. And as long as you're doing your own thing, you know, you're not my competition because I don't do what you do, and you don't do what I do. Yes, it's a podcast. That's the only thing we have in common. But other than that, you know, it's not the exact same thing. And everybody should be able to go and do it is whatever they want to do and be successful at it. And there's no reason why everybody can't support each other and help make that happen.
It's your unique voice, right? The podcast is, you can't help but it be that. Even if you're both selling protein powder, your voice is going to be different than the next person doing similar things. Same thing with wealth coaching or any of the things that we do. It's always going to be a unique voice. And that is something I think that I love about podcasting because it can be celebrated. And
Absolutely.
So I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. Where's Howard?
He's in Atlanta today. You know, so he was sorry. He wanted to be on this one too. He's shopping.
Wow.
Hey, Eileen.
He's so much fun. I love Howard.
Well, he desperately did. He apologized, and you know he did not want to miss the show, but he was in Atlanta shopping. Hey, Eileen, tell everybody your background for the audience that may not know the things that you've done, including your love of Adam Ant.
Well, I love Adam Ant. And probably everybody in the world knows that. But when I started, I wrote a book when I was 16. And
oh my God.
No, it was like a New York Times bestseller.
Come on.
It was a Star Trek book. Yeah. The Star Trek Medical Reference Manual, licensed by Paramount and used in several of the Star Trek movies as a reference, which is really cool. So I used to like have a crush. I had a crush on Leonard Nimoy or Mr. Spock. I'm not sure which. One of them. And he turned out to be the first person at 16 that I had an interview with. So I've been a journalist ever since, writing books, writing articles, interviewing people, and just having fun. You know,
yeah. Hell yeah.
My whole big thing is I wanted to really interview Adam Ant, so I figured I better like step it up and interview really big people. Otherwise, he would want an interview from me. So I interviewed Diana Ross. I interviewed Annie Lennox. I mean, a whole list of people. And then finally, 6 years later, I got to interview him and meet him and become friends with him. So it was like a really cool dream. And I still have a bucket list, but I'm getting there.
What is your bucket list?
Well, all right. So I had 3 people on it, actually 3.5, 4. One was Adam Ant. One was Rick Springfield, who I also met and interviewed a bunch of times. One was Billy Idol, who I met a bunch of times, but never interviewed him. And the other one is Alice Cooper, and I'm almost there.
Wow.
Thanks to Chris Weiss.
That's so cool.
That is, yeah. It's in fact, Rick Springfield's doing some new things. I'm sure you're way ahead of me on that.
He looks fantastic too.
Yeah, great.
He looks really good.
He looks great, and he's still great in concert. And he's just fun. He's a lot of fun. He's really, really nice. All of them are. I mean, when you have like an idol and they're actually nice, it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I like this person, and he's nice. Oh yeah.
Eileen, I have somebody that I really, really want to interview and meet, and that would be Dave Grohl. Have you talked to him ever?
Yeah.
I don't think
think
so.
I have.
Oh, you have?
No, I actually think I have.
Because he's somebody that he's just so talented. So that's just somebody that's on my bucket list. I'd like to interview. I've been telling that to Brian for years.
I said I'm gonna help on. I will help on get it on my end too. Hey Jimmy, I was gonna ask you this. For those people, because you do so many things and so many things well, and I don't think you get enough credit for all the things that you've done. Talk about when you were that fashion designer in Florida. Did you know you were going to end up doing what you're doing now?
No idea whatsoever. My whole life. Shut up, Astro. My whole life I wanted to be my whole life I wanted to be a clothing designer, and I was working in retail stuff. I was working in retail. I wanted to be a clothing designer, and my dad said I kept telling my dad I was going to become a clothing designer as soon as I had enough money to do it. And he said, "You're never going to have enough money to do it." So I quit my job. I bought a building, started making clothes and selling them out of there. And I had a lot of success. I only made one of a kind clothes, and I dressed like, Steven Tyler, and I dressed. I did the costume design for Too Fast, Too Furious, and I dressed Elton John. I mean, I dressed all these like cool people. Everybody loved it because there was only one of them. The first person I ever dressed that I got really excited about was David Arquette, because there was a picture of him in People magazine, wearing the stuff that I like made, and that was like for me like a really big deal at the time. And then so I was doing very, very well as a clothing designer. I had 4 stores in South Florida. It was a lot of fun. And then the government came in and eminent domain my property, and I lost everything, and I had to reinvent myself. And after like a 6-year legal battle, I reinvented myself. And the show, we got the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell started, during that time. And so I kind of became a talk show host. I met Eileen, and I became a publicist. I've been working in film since I was in high school, films and television. And um, and I used to, back when I lived in Pennsylvania, I authored about 7 books. And I took them all down because I co-authored them with somebody, and they didn't want to be doing it anymore. So recently I started publishing books that I had written years ago again. And so now I'm also an author. And I wrote
He's
a book
also
on
a tennis
collecting
champ.
Funko Pops. And I used to be a tennis champ, but I wrote a book on collecting Funko Pops because I collect action figures. I have 2 other podcasts. One's called Collector's Corner with Jimmy Star, that's all about action figures, and I have DarkFrights Horror News, which is all about horror movies, because those are my passions, are horror movies and action figures. And we haven't had a whole lot of great events in LA. This has been a weird year, so I haven't only been to LA. It was my first time on Saturday, but we had so much fun. We have, I think you guys had Arrow Rose and Chris Arrow Rose and Chris Wise on the show, and their show was Saturday night, and they were so phenomenal and so good. There's Arrow Rose. She was so good. The party was
Yes, you
great. That's
were.
right. Terri was there. She was
And
having
I
a
was
good
so
time.
glad you were there. I had so much fun with you.
I had so much fun dancing, and it was we just had, I had a great time, and I brought my girlfriend Kim, and yeah, she's so talented, and all the musicians there were so good.
They were, right?
I got to talk to Jimmy for a while and stuff. So yeah, it was a fun evening. But I'm a rocker at heart, so anything that's like rock and roll, I'm there. I'm all over it. And we got to dress like vampires.
We're actually going to bring them to New York now. I don't know if Jimmy knows that. Jimmy, do you know that? Yeah.
Yes, you told me that the other night, that you thought that they were going to bring it to New York. So I think
we are, and you should all come.
When is it?
It's going to be, Brian, I think it's going to be December 21st, right around when Randy's at Carnegie Hall. So
wait a minute, I got to stay in New York longer?
Yes.
God, really?
It's worth it.
You're going to be there already. You might as well do it.
I'm not
it's totally worth it.
Right?
It's totally worth it. Like, Chris Wise is super, super cool. For anybody who doesn't know who he is, he's like a really famous bassist. He's the bassist for the Hollywood Vampires. He was the bassist for Ace Frehley.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Rolling Stones.
He was in the Cult.
Yeah, because I was a huge fan of the Cult back in, I'm dating myself, in college. But yeah, so he's so, I mean, that's where I first was introduced to him, was when he was playing for the Cult.
Yeah, he's just unbelievable. So it's definitely a show to go see, and you guys would like it a lot.
Cool. Jimmy, the one thing I like about your show that I've never seen with anybody else is you've got that rabid audience that's always there on Wednesdays for you. And I love seeing when you're scrolling down and those comments are coming through. It's not easy to see those. I've only seen that with you.
I don't think a lot of other people make the option available for people if they would want to do it. And I'll tell you what,
Mhm.
if you do have an opportunity to have a chat room and get people in the chat room and become friendly with them, and I mention all their names during the show, and
Mhm.
they take my promos and they promote it on their social media because I've included them as part of my show. They help promote the show, and that's one of the reasons why I have so many people tuning in, is because the audience, feels like they're a part of it. I'm
Mhm.
super nice to everybody on social media, and the people who help promote, I help promote their stuff. Like
And
that's
they're
my
all
whole thing
great
about
people.
everybody help together, and they're all really good people, and they're from all over. There's people from Germany, the UK.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
people from all over the place, but I do believe that if you can build people to come up in your chat room and then you help promote them, they will help promote you, and that will make things grow.
Jimmy, with your
And some of
3
the
shows
people,
per week, oh,
Uh,
are they all live, or any of them pre-recorded?
no. So basically my other two podcasts are short form podcasts. They're only about 8 to 10 minutes long, and I do them whenever I can do them. I try to do at least one a week, sometimes two a week. It just depends how busy I am. And then my big show, the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, is on Wednesdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Okay.
Um, and that's live, just like this. It's just like
Mhm.
this. And we're on the sister station, actually, of Talk 4
Mhm.
TV. We're on W4CY Radio. And I've been on the station since I started. Dean's a great guy, and I've been with them. And your engineer, Rebel, used to be my engineer back in the day. She's fabulous, too.
Yeah, she is good.
Mhm.
She talks about your podcast. What
Oh,
is it?
she's
It's
great.
the horror one.
Oh,
Talk
Dark
about
Frights
talk
Horror
about that.
News. So Dark Frights Horror News is a short form podcast where I just mostly do horror movie reviews, mostly indie films, and a lot of stuff from the 80s because that's what I like. And it's the companion to a website that I have. It's called darkfrights.com, and it's all the horror news, and it's like the top 20 horror websites in the world.
Cool.
And it's darkfrights.com, so you can go to it, and this is the companion piece to that.
Hey, Jimmy, talk about horror never goes out of style.
I love
It
horror.
is so interesting. Do you remember when it used to be the third week of August, the Dead Week? Now it is every week.
Horror is the number one. Well, for a filmmaker, horror is the number one genre. It's the most profitable genre. For me, it's the funnest genre, and I know the most people. Eileen is getting kind of like into it because we have a film out right now called The Beast Inside that we produced, and we have another film we're working on called Cry Havoc, which is a werewolf movie that Eileen's a producer on,
Cool.
and we're looking for funding for that one right now. It's kind of a big budget. But Eileen's, although Eileen loves the the music thing, she's starting to like the movie thing, and the fact that if you guys go on Tubi right now, The Beast Inside is free on Tubi, and it stars Sadie Katz, Lorene Landon, and Vernon Wells, and Ron
and Jimmy
Russell's
and
in
I
it.
have a cameo.
Yes, and Eileen has a good cameo. Eileen has a good cameo in it. Like she has these white eyes. So you guys can watch it now on Tubi for free.
And it was scored by Randy Edelman.
Yes, and it was
watch
scored
it.
by Randy Edelman.
I drive Brian crazy because he's staying at my house and like all I watch is horror movies.
So what's your favorite
He watches
horror movie?
movies. Like, yes, I love it. I just binge watched the Monster Ed Gein story. Like I watched it like one day. I was so fascinated with it because it was like I didn't realize that like all these great horror films like Chainsaw Massacre and Silence of the Lambs that were all because of the stuff that he did.
Influenced.
I had no idea.
Yes.
You know what mine was? Dawn of the Dead. George Romero.
Great.
An Evil Dead.
What's your favorite horror film?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I was very good friends with Bill Heinzman, who's no longer with us. And Bill Heinzman was the main zombie that everybody sees first in the original Dawn of the Dead. And I've also I'm friends with George Romero Jr. And I've met George Romero many, many times. He was like a genius, and I love zombie movies, so they're fun.
I like the Dracula movies. That's why I enjoy the event so much. Right?
One of our clients did a horror thing. Promote him, Jimmy.
And shout out to the one you just loved, Brian. I don't know if there's any connection here, but Faith Kills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Hey, all right. So Rachel, do you have a favorite horror film?
Yeah.
because Rachel watches a lot of movies, and I love
Oh,
that.
I do. Yeah, Brian and I we call each other out Wednesday, and yeah, I think I started my BTK was my dad. I started that yesterday.
I started watching
Oh,
that too.
is that a documentary or a movie?
Yeah, it's a documentary. Yeah, can you
I'll probably
imagine?
watch that. I know a lot about the BTK killer, and there's an actual movie
Yeah.
called BTK where Kane Hodder, who's
Uh-huh.
the original Jason from Friday the 13th, plays the BTK killer, and he's a good friend of mine. He's a big stunt guy, and so I would probably like watch that. And Eileen was talking about, we have another client that we work with. He's an Emmy nominee. His name's Mike Mayhall, and he has a 5-part series on Tubi, and it's called The Madness of David Judge, and it's a psychological thriller, and it's really good.
Plus,
It's
he's
a
a
really
cool
good
guy.
show.
He was in
Yeah,
The
he's a cool
Walking
guy.
Dead, Geostorm. Really cool guy.
Eileen, I think you're the only publicist, not because you're here, that I like who's got really cool clients. And a lot of them are in the music world. I don't really think anybody's got that many like you do. They have some, but they have a mix of everything else. You have a sick ones where they like stay with you. You know, you put Randy aside. I'm thinking of like Fred Schneider from the B-52s. One day I want to talk to him. Someone's got to set up a mic so we can talk to him. Because I love the B-52s.
Oh,
He
I
won't
love
do.
Fred.
He won't do audio. He won't do
I
video.
know.
He'll
He
only
might
do
now.
audio.
No, Jimmy, he might now because he has a podcast too.
Oh, finally?
And he's
Yeah,
doing
it's just
videos
down.
on TikTok.
He doesn't
I
have
follow him on
guests.
TikTok.
It's just himself. But I think he would do it now. I'll text him when I'm done here.
Yeah. That's one of the best concerts. That's one of the best concerts I ever saw at the Television Critics Association for snobby writers. You know, I was in the back actually dancing to Rock Lobster in my own private Idaho because I play it every other day.
I love Fred. Fred came to my house and got drunk once and fell down my stairs in the snow. But
did you have to go pick him up?
In his defense, if you so like Eileen lives like on a hill. Yeah, most people have like 3 steps to get into their front, you know. She's got like 30 really steep steps to get up to her house, you know.
He's
so
right.
like lots of people could fall down, like even though he probably was drunk, but lots of people could fall down on it because it's extremely high up in the air.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he didn't get
Eileen.
hurt. If that helps any.
Hey, talk about the clients that you pick on the East Coast client, East Coast, Eileen. What you specifically are looking for, because I don't think you just take anybody, right?
Well, you know what? It depends. I like to take people that are not there yet, and people that are there, and not, like Dickie about it. And then I also like to do people who want to reinvent themselves. I have a lot of clients that are like 80 and over, and they're cool. They're cool as fuck. So,
I love that.
Oh my God, I have Irene Michaels, she's from Chicago, so she's kind of almost East Coast. But, she's 80 years old and she's a house singer. I think you guys had her on your show. But,
Yeah.
I mean, she sings house. Who does that at 80? And she looks 40.
Nobody.
And she looks 40.
She looks good. She looks good.
Yep.
Hey, talk about the other night. Some of the people that showed up.
Well, we had her show up with her husband, who is one of the was one of the biggest rock promoters on the planet. We had no show.
He also
up.
has 6 He had 6 Tony Awards, I think, or 7 Tony Awards.
9. 9
Tony Awards. Okay.
What's his name?
Yeah. His name is
Granat.
Arnie Granite. I can put him on your show. You would like him.
Okay.
He's very interesting, and he did he was like a Live Nation, and what he did was he did everyone from Frank Sinatra to Madonna, like huge shows. And he does Broadway shows, which is why he has 9 Tonys. And so he's kind of interesting. And so they were there, and we had No. You remember No, don't you?
From Revolution.
Revolution, whose real name was Frank. I know you know him, Brian. I know you do.
I do.
With his Russian wife who takes frog venom and like she's really healthy.
I have friends that do that.
And Jimmy had a whole lot of people there. So
We had
tell 'em.
Ashley Paul, who's like a Billboard charting
Mhm.
artist. She's charted on Billboard about 10 or 12 times.
Yep.
We have Paul Gunn, who's a big actor who came on. We had the Baroness Summer Helene, who does a bunch of actually, she has a show on this station on Fridays, and her MMA boyfriend fighter, Bear Fiorda. There was one of the housewives, husbands from one of the housewives shows there, but I don't watch the housewives, so I wasn't sure. They had one of the guys from Jackass was there.
Mhm.
We had guys from the
There was a
cult
lot. Yeah,
there.
there was guys from the cult.
Wow.
I can't remember all. Isn't that funny? Like now
We
when you
had
think about it.
we had Evan Stanley there, Paul Stanley's son. He actually performed.
He was amazing. I
Yeah.
really
Oh,
enjoyed them.
good.
I really enjoyed watching them. Yeah.
Who else did we have, Jimmy? We had oh my God,
Isn't
there
that
were like
funny? I can't
500
actually
people
remember.
there. There was like
Hey, Jimmy.
500 people there.
I think you have more. Is it Simonetta Leone? I think you rep her more than Eileen. Is that right?
Yes, when we're working with her, we're not working with her at the moment, but it's not that
No,
I rep
we
more.
do it equal. I think,
We
right?
do everything equally. Yeah, we do everything equally. There's just certain clients that seem to like gravitate to me, and there's clients that seem to gravitate to her. But we both work on everybody.
Yeah.
I just talk to her more, like, and Eileen talks to other people more. So it's a little bit different. But we're not working with her though at the moment, at least.
I like watching a lot of what your clients do. I think that's great because you guys really take care of them a lot. And I
Well,
think that's why they
we
hang out with you
branched
guys.
out now. We do events for them too. So
Oh, wow. That's powerful. Those are so
Yeah.
popular right now. So you're more on the music side, Eileen, and you're more on the acting side then. Acting, producing, is that right? As far as the way you guys set up your clients?
Well, I usually work more with the movie people, and she works more with the. Well, I shouldn't say works more. We both work with everybody, but my interest is in movies more, and hers is in music more, and so that's why we kind of cross the whole thing. But she has an interest in movies, and I have an interest in music. It just kind of like works out that way, because I've been working in movies for like a long time, and she's getting that way, and she's basically like a music. Like she knows everybody, basically there's like nobody. I mean, recently someone passed away, and I was like, oh, I think I've heard that name. Didn't we do something with them? And she's like, yeah. Who died? Who died recently?
I don't know. A lot of people. Oh, John.
Diane Keaton.
Yeah, Diane.
No. This was Oh my God.
From the
John,
Moody
the guy
Blues
from
or
the Moody
something.
Blues. The guy from the
Yeah.
Moody Blues.
Oh, that's right.
John-
I think it was like a
Lodge.
guitar.
John Lodge.
John Lodge. He
Yeah,
just died recently.
like
And
that's
he was,
one of Eileen's friends.
yeah, he was a friend. And he died unexpectedly, so that was kind of sad. And but I mean, we work with the most eclectic kind of people, like everyone from like hip hop to like Randy. So, like,
I mean, like we worked
really?
with Molly Mall, who I don't know if he's still in jail, but he was in jail.
No, he's not.
Like we were working with him until he went to jail for doing something with hookers in Las Vegas. And we had PM Dawn as a client at one time. Caroline Williams, who's a big scream queen. She's the only one who lives in Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. So we've had like such a
We
wide
had Melly
variety.
Mel, who did a record with Randy, believe it or not.
And he performed at the MTV Awards for the 50 years of hip hop. He was one of the
Wow.
performers at the MTV Awards.
Wow.
We have Leon Robinson, kind of, sort of. He's like an adopted client.
Well, yeah, that's what's interesting. You guys have people that kind of hang on to you, and you may rep them up because they like you guys. I think that's really cool.
But we like them too, so it is cool. It is cool. Like if Leon asked for a favor right now, I would in a heartbeat do it. But when I asked Leon, hey Leon, can you show up here? In a heartbeat he does it. So,
Yeah.
It's good.
Mutually beneficial relationships.
Yeah. Well, that brings up a question. I'd love to know, like, and you don't have to say names, of course, but what's it been like to work with somebody you found out you didn't like?
We fire them.
Eileen doesn't put up with that.
Come back.
Eileen
true.
is
They
very
do.
good at that. She's significantly better at that than I am. But basically, she tells people, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about," and you're like, "No, you're totally delusional in your expectations." I mean, we've had clients who nobody's ever heard of, who have 2,000 followers on social media, and after working with them for 2 weeks, they'll literally say, "How come I'm not on Good Morning America?" And you're like, "Are you like, you got to be like brain dead or something? There's something
And
seriously like
I
wrong
said
with
to them,
you."
"What, you think you're Madonna?" Yeah, I mean, I will tell the truth. I will tell my clients. Believe me, I tell them the truth. I mean, even with Andy, when I first started working with him, he goes, "Oh, I want to do Radio City," and I said to him, "I said, you don't have a fucking prayer." So, and then I got him a T-shirt that said "Randy Edelman, the real Madonna," and I guess he got skinned after that.
That's one of the problems with expectations and people's expectations. Sometimes people either think they're a lot better than they are, or don't realize how long it takes. Like people come to me and they're like, "Gee, how do you get all these people to listen to your podcast?" Well, I've been doing it for 18 years. It's not like I woke up one day and had a podcast and a million people wouldn't listen to it. It's been
That's
a
what they
lot
think.
of work.
Yeah.
They think that, Jimmy, don't they?
They think that, like, when you put up how many views you've had, Brian, and people look at that and they're like, "Oh, if Brian Sebastian can get 20 million views or whatever your view count is, 40 million views, so can I." No, you cannot. Like, it's unless
Right.
you're like, if you're like Madonna, yeah, you can. But a regular everyday person who thinks, because everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to do a podcast. If you can do it, I can do it." And nobody lasts more than about 6 weeks
7
because
weeks. That's
Yeah.
it.
6 or 7 weeks they get like four of their friends to watch it and nobody else, and then they're like, it's not so easy, and it's really not
No,
an
it's
easy
not
thing,
easy.
especially now, because now I think there are 1.7. Okay, before COVID there was only a couple of 100,000 podcasts. Now there's 1.7 million podcasts,
Yeah.
so you're competing with like a lot of other people, for the audience, and
Although
so
even that statistic, the statistic is, it's crazy, just exactly what you were saying, Jimmy, about people doing it and getting their 4 friends to watch and dropping off. It's a long game.
Come on, Carol, 3.
I think the
That's how it
crazy
works.
statistic is that, they're dropping out after 3 episodes. Like literally, there's a 46% or something. So when somebody's wanting to start a podcast and they come talk to me, I'm like, it's a long game. Just stay with it. Just be in it. You'll be fine. As long as you make that commitment, set that intention from the beginning. I think that's where, people start to go, "Oh, okay, I get it now. I'm not going to have instant push button success here."
And by the way,
yeah,
this
and
is our 173rd live show in a row. So if we
Nice.
continue to go straight through, by the end of the year, we'll have 191.
Yeah.
That's really
There's no
good.
guarantee. There's no guarantee, but still, we just
Yeah.
continue to do it.
You have to continue doing, and it's depending on what it's a very difficult process that people don't really get. Like finding guests, is not always an easy thing to do, and then finding guests that people are gonna like, and you don't really know what guests people are gonna like. Sometimes the most famous people I've had on have done the worst, view wise.
Don't
Sometimes we
mention
bring on
names.
people that. I'm not, but sometimes you bring people on that nobody knows who they are, and you get a ton of plays because people just like the interaction and the way that those people are. So you don't really know, and nothing is a given and nothing is a guarantee, but also you have to keep it going. And I did a lot of different things when I first started. Like I used to put out press releases for every guest that came on for the first probably 15 years.
Wow.
that I did it. I put out a press release on each guest that came on, and I have 2 every week. Just to help get it going, because they would share it in their social media, and that's how it did it. Now, as I've become a public, it's funny because as I've become a publicist, I do no press on me, and I do press on everybody else.
Yeah, but here's the thing about you, Jimmy, is that you do a lot of everything, and you do a lot of everything evenly well, and that's not easy to do. And the reason I know this, because when I'm traveling cross country, I'm seeing what everybody else is not doing, and I tell Carol and I tell Terry and Rachel, that's not good. There's 5,000 movie theaters went out of business last year. That's terrible. I went to Regal Theaters last night and I saw 2 movies. I saw, Smashing Machine, The Rock's movie, which bombed. and it wasn't a bad movie. It was actually good, but I can see why people didn't go see it. And then I'm asking, we got the reclining chairs. They got people bringing me popcorn as in my reclining seats, which I don't necessarily care because they have no concession fan. I'm like, where's the popcorn at? Oh, we bring it to you. How do I know someone didn't spit in it? Because it's in the back. You don't know. So everything keeps changing to get audience members to go to the movie theaters. Well, let me ask you, Jimmy, when's the last time you went to the theaters?
We went and saw the new Downton Abbey movie, and that
Hey,
was the
Ron,
first
I
movie.
see Ron
I
walking
saw
in the
Ron
back.
walking in the
He walked
background.
away. He doesn't. I have headphones on, so he can't hear. So I saw the new Downton Abbey movie. It was the first movie I had been to in 2 years,
Wow.
probably.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah,
go
it's
more than
amazing.
you, Jimmy. I have 9 grandchildren, and one of them is like 10.
I gotta
And
gotta take
lately
home.
he's like into horror movies, like he loves Smile, and I'm like, so I take them because their mother won't. But part of the fun for me is the popcorn. So I get what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm
It's
stingy
all
when it
about
comes to
popcorn.
popcorn. Oh yeah.
One of my grandchildren,
Absolutely.
Gabe, now works in a movie theater and a bowling alley.
Hey, Eileen, let me ask you this. We've lost way too many music icons and they're not being replaced. Not. And that
Right.
saddens me because, there used to be a time when people would go to New York or hitchhike to California to make it. People don't do that anymore. They don't have to. But we don't have icons anymore, do we?
Well, I don't know about that. I might have to disagree because there are icons in the making. They're just not there yet, but they will be.
I agree.
They're young, but they're so talented. They're so talented. But there are a bunch around. Leland
I mean-
Sklar, he's an icon. I mean,
Well, no, Leland's that
Beyonce,
icon. Yeah.
icon.
No, I mean because I agree with you because it's the same thing as in Hollywood. I think nowadays we have a lot of movie stars, but we don't have a Marilyn Monroe, we don't have a
Right.
Jane Russell, we don't have a Cary
People that would
Grant.
actually really go pay to
But-
run to see the theaters or go to their
We
concerts.
don't
that's
have that
because
anymore,
there's
and same
social
thing with
media, I
music.
think.
Yeah.
I think it's been
Um,
social media.
well,
Yes, I agree with.
still
I
have
think that.
Kiss. We still have Kiss. We
Yeah,
still
we still
have.
have Kiss. I mean,
Yeah.
we
I mean-
lost Ozzy Osbourne. That was a big one.
That was a big one.
Um,
He'll never be replaced.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
No.
reason why I say this, I just came back from Vegas this morning, is why I have no sleep. People would come around the world to go see someone perform in Vegas. They will go see U2 or the Eagles at the Spirit, but we don't have a Danny Gans who was the 12 years in a row the best entertainer in the world, 12 years in a row in Vegas. We don't have that. We don't have a Sigrid and Roy. People aren't going to go see Donny Osmond, who's great around the world. They just won't because it's they just won't.
I can't imagine.
We don't have-
why.
No, we don't have the icons now in music. Like Billie Eilish will never be an Ozzy Osbourne or of that
Right.
stature. She'll be
Right.
she'll be big. She'll be famous. She'll sell a lot of
They're
records.
big in a
but
different
she's-
way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it's not gonna. I don't think that we're gonna have people like we used to have
They'll never
in
be there,
acting
Arnie.
or in music. I think those days are over. I think you're gonna have a lot of really famous people, but you're not gonna have any one person who stands out like they used to. Back when in our day. Which is unfortunate actually, but I don't like the way like rock stars look anymore. Like rock stars don't look like rock stars, and movie stars don't look like movie stars anymore. And I miss the glamour of all of it.
Yeah.
When you used to see, like even now, when you see Steven Tyler, he's a rock star. No matter what he's wearing and how goofy it is, it's cool and he looks like a rock star. But most of the rock stars now, they wear basically t-shirt and jeans and that's it, and sneakers. They don't look like rock stars.
Yeah.
So don't a lot of the country acts now too. It's interesting where it's kind of blending, almost a little bit of hip hop because everybody's blending together.
I
Yeah.
love country music. Like I love Kelsey Ballerini, and I didn't even know who she was until I saw her as a judge on The Voice. I didn't even know who she was. But now I listen to her like all the time. I think she's fabulous. So I think there's shows like The Voice. Like I don't watch The Voice. I only watch the auditions, like the blind auditions. I don't actually watch it after that. I just like to watch the blind auditions. And but I think all the American Idols and all those different shows like that have kind of like ruined it because none of those people ever really do much. that win
Yeah.
those shows. But to me, it's just fun because I like the music and I like watching it. But I don't think we're gonna have the iconic kind of basically Kelly Clarkson's basically the only one who really hit really big on a and
I
Adam
was gonna
Lambert, I
say
guess
that.
he's pretty
The other
big.
one.
Adam
And then
Lambert
we
is
had
Carrie
Dolphy, but
Underwood.
he kind of dropped out because I thought he could have been something, you know. I went to go see him downtown and in a
Yeah.
small arena, but there was an but I liked his music when he was on
no, his music was
what was it?
good. His music's
No,
good.
Yeah.
you forget Adam Lambert. He was American
Oh yeah.
Idol.
Well, you know,
He's a big deal.
I don't think he gets enough credit for going to be the the lead for Queen though, because he's great. He's good.
He's great. You know, I've interviewed him and I've met him and I'm friends with him. And he's just, first of all, he's like one of the nicest people on the planet. Secondly, nobody sings like him. He's
That's
amazing.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's
That's
amazing.
why Queen took him, you know, because he was
Yeah.
perfect, and you know.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Yep.
got a couple minutes left. Eileen, talk about Randy in December. What else you got coming up? And then Soho Johnny too.
Well, I got Randy going to do Carnegie Hall. Right now he's in England. If anyone's watching, he's doing Altrincham, Kent, and something else I forget. But anyway, he's doing Carnegie Hall, and he'll be accompanied by Jackie DeShannon, who, by the way, is
He's
now
a great
recording
songwriter.
again. She's recording again too, and she's really good. And then he'll be doing Lincoln Center in June, and then various things in the middle, which I which I haven't made up yet. Soho Johnny's not doing much of anything. We manage Tribeca Records for him, and right now he's kind of laying low and doing real estate. And his first love is disco, and he's doing a little bit of that, I guess. He's trying anyway. So I mean, everybody's doing something. Randy is probably going to be doing a new album soon.
Well, the other thing is you're going to the Josie Awards too, right? Talk about that.
Yes, I'm getting there. We were very lucky because all of our musical clients are nominated in the Josies, and we're all going. Gina Zolman, Quinn Lemley, Irene Michaels, Ben Bacardi. I think, and there are some others, but they're all nominated and they're all very excited. And we're trying to get votes, and there's only one more day for the Grammys for Quinn Lemley. If anyone in the recording academy and hasn't voted yet, there's Quinn Lemley, there's Randy Edelman, and Irene Michaels. Jimmy, do you know their categories offhand?
Irene Michaels is best pop duo or group performance with Twiz and White Peace for My Heart. Randy Edelman is those.
Randy Edelman is solo pop vocalist for 21 Again, and arrangements for vocal and whatever else there is for Pat Wants to Know.
And Quinn Lemley is best traditional pop vocal album, best arrangement, instruments and vocals, and best jazz performance for the album Rita Hayworth Revealed.
Right.
Wow.
There we go.
So if anyone's a member of the
computer.
Recording Academy, please vote. Tomorrow's the last day.
That's important. Hey, Rachel, give you social media links for them.
Rachel Roberts Recipes, Rachel Ann Roberts.
Carol.
Carol Register, IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or NeuroCoach Carol on IG.
Terri.
Terri Marie Nonstop on all platforms.
And Jimmy, how can people reach out to you, future clients possibly, and your investing?
I'm at This Is Jimmy Star on all social media, and my website is jimmystarsworld.com or jimmystarauthor.com.
And what are you doing for Halloween?
I don't know.
With all those toys that come to life at night in your house?
I have, well, for my birthday, I got a 3.5-foot animated Chucky.
Oh,
That actually like talks and stuff. I got one last year too, but this one's different. Yeah, so it's scary. It's fun. And Eileen is.
If you want to reach Eileen, here you go. 631-506 6600.
No, you're not.
That's
I'm like writing it down.
She
and
was
you
writing
can
it down.
find
I
me
was
on
writing it
social
down.
platforms, but I don't know how. So
But she is active on LinkedIn because I see her posting and looking
I
at
am on
things all the time.
LinkedIn. I'm on TikTok. I'm on
She's on Facebook. She's on
Instagram,
everything.
I'm all over the TikTok.
And she does a
I
great
love
job at
TikTok.
that.
TikTok's my favorite out of all
Yeah,
of them.
That's my
Jimmy
favorite
kicks ass on TikTok.
Yeah. I found you both on IG and I'm following you there.
Oh, good. I'll make sure I follow back.
I'll
Okay,
follow you
good.
back.
Okay.
And everyone follow Randy on TikTok because I made him a TikTok page and he doesn't know it.
I know. I thought so. I knew you did that.
I
All
did
right,
it.
so we're out
Yeah.
of time.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Thank
I
you,
want to thank
bro.
everybody. So like I
Thank
always
you
say, have a
all.
good night tonight. A better day tomorrow. When you see someone who had a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More. And we'll see you next week. And speedy recovery to Ron Russell.
Thank you.
How much is now?